So recently I made this painting. I started off by priming the canvas and then I got straight onto Canva, where I usually mock up a lot of my reference imagery. I kind of wanted to layer images of faces and bodies. Felt like this painting needed to be a deep red because that's what I've been really drawn to lately. And I was layering the faces and bodies so that it would create an interesting composition. I usually pull down the transparency or the opacity, then we'll move the images around and create interesting juxtapositions. I ended up liking the imagery of the cropped body in the frame with the smaller image reversed in the middle, and so I went with that. I traced the image and then placed it on the canvas and did a wash of red over the top so you could still see the reference lines through the wash. I got my palette ready, lots of red and then a couple of other colours to create some overlay of light fleshy tones, so light pink and some green. I was really interested by the hands and the feet in this image, and I really loved bringing them to life and giving them form. The concept behind this piece came very early in the work, and I started with the composition and looking at self-portraiture. At the time I was reading the book The Mirror and the Palette by Jennifer Higgie, which is an amazing book. And it's all about female self-portraiture through the years and the power that self-portraiture holds, especially for women. In the past, often they did not have access to life models, so they usually only had access to themselves as a model, a mirror and a palette. Therefore, so many self-portraits were made by women as an act of defiance and rebellion, and also just as an act of making and stating I am here. It was such a powerful book to me, and I started thinking about all the women artists who had come before me and paved the way for me, and so that's what I really was thinking about when I was making this work. The deep red also was very intuitive for me and intense and intimate. It was really interesting to work with the red. I found that there was so many different ways to layer the red, definitely a learning curve. I knew that when I added white to the red, it would make it a more pink tone. So often I would have to go back and do a red transparent glaze over the top. The title of this piece is I'm Sitting in a Church, but I'm Not Thinking About God. I went and saw the film Poor Things with my best friend, and after I saw the film, I was walking back to the train station and I passed by a cathedral and there was no one in there, and I went in, and I'm not really a religious person, but it was a very special experience for me to sit there and do nothing but think and be really present. And I was also thinking a lot about the film that I just watched. I adore the movie Poor Things, and I was just thinking about all the art in my life that I revere. And in a way, art is a spirituality. It's almost a religion, a powerful force, and it is so important. So I was thinking about the power that art and making has on people and on myself, and of all the women artists in history. I'm sitting in a church, but I'm not thinking about God. I sit in reverence, thinking about the film that I just watched, the poem I read last week, and the beauty and the craft of the stained glass windows that stand before me. I think about the power, the grace, and the strength it took to make, while no one allowed you to do so. So this is the final piece. I'm really happy with it. I'm really happy with how it turned out. I still have to go and do the edges a darker red because this is just the wash. But the painting is exactly what I wanted it to be. It's this like gorgeous shade of red, and then hair and the darker parts are like a dark red. I really like the composition of it and how it fits like perfectly within the frame. Often when I do collage pieces, they'll be a bit more intricate or harder to figure out what's going on. But I really like this simple box of the mirrored image inside. I think it gives a really good effect, and I really liked doing the glazing with some of the parts where there's overlay.